Hey everybody, this is Rich from @RawViewage and @TheRichSmithRobot. You should probably go ahead and turn this podcast off because it's so awful, and fire up RawViewage.
Hey there, this is John from Pino Comics.
And I'm Lloyd, also from Pino Comics.
And I'm the other John, and you get it by now. As you may know, we sometimes use language on this show that can be described as...
Filthy.
Okay.
Reprehensible?
Crude?
Sure.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, guys. We all know that it's just plain out gutter talk.
You've been warned. Listen in.
Welcome to your 101st episode of Pina Comics, sports fans. I'm Marv Albert. No, I'm not Marv Albert. Ganache here with the Manster and Lou Skywalker. Where's Sir John, you say? Well, here's the story. We had to make room on the roster because Antonio Brown became available today.
Yeah, he did.
So Antonio Brown, we let John go. We cut him from the roster. Lloyd went to see John today. He delivered the bat. How did he take it?
He did not take it well.
No, he freaked out a little bit.
He freaked out. He started texting me, harassing.
Yeah.
Goes to the Stratosphere gave us a 7th round for him, right?
Yeah, Goes to the Stratosphere gave us a 7th round for him.
Okay.
So Wizard also offered. So Antonio Brown became available. We talked to his agent. We signed him, and right before he was going to come tonight to actually record with us, there was some more accusations against him, and we decided it was best. Our HR department, my wife Lindsay, decided it was best
for the pint.
It was best for the pint that we actually cut ties with him.
Right.
So
he violated the conduct policy.
He totally violated
Conduct detrimental to the podcast.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, and there's not one of us here that hasn't farted in a doctor's face. But, you know.
I think that was the least of it, to be honest with
I
you.
didn't want to get too far into everything else. So we actually offered John the olive branch. So he's not going to be on this first episode of recording tonight, but he'll be here later on tonight. And it's certainly going to be awkward. We got 100 episodes through with the guy. We fire him, and then
one later. Yeah.
And because things don't work out for us, we immediately bring him back. So, anyways, 101st episode. Really excited to be talking again. And 1 week ago from tomorrow, so Saturday was it the 14th or the 15th?
The 14th.
The 14th. Saturday the 14th at the Naugatuck Event Center. Ourselves went and sponsored an awesome event. Lloyd, what did we sponsor?
That was a CT Horror Fest.
Connecticut Horror Fest.
Connecticut Horror Fest. Is it not
here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. I think they call it both.
Yeah. In the, what is it, Waterbury Event Center?
Naugatuck.
Naugatuck Event Center.
Naugatuck Event Center. Big place.
Yeah, it's a good place. I much improved over last year's.
I had a great time last year, and this was their 6th year. They were calling it year 666, which is very fitting for that.
I was
crew.
wondering where that came from.
6th year.
Now I know.
It is run by our friends Rob and Christine Caprolozzi, and they are the people behind HorrorNewsNetwork.net.
Yep.
If you are a horror fan and you want to get your little fix of horror news at any given point, go to HorrorNewsNetwork.net.
That's it.
And check them out. It is an awesome website. I'm on there on my website on my lunch break quite a bit. Checking them out. Do you ever go on yourself?
Yeah, I check it out. You know, it's one of the sites affiliated with the.
Did you say filleted?
I swear to God, I heard that
He
too.
said filleted.
He did.
I'm
He
pretty
said
sure if you go
filleted
back
with-
to the tape, I said affiliated.
But it sounded like filleted.
Well, I'm not filleting them, believe me.
All right. No filleting on this side or that side. We love those guys.
Yeah.
So before we get too far into it, I think the first thing I want to ask, because me and you have both been to one of these before.
Yeah.
And all three of us here are regular con goers. We go to Comic Cons and, stuff like that. But Lou, who's not a horror fan per se, this was your first horror convention. And we talked about it a bit at the show. What was so surprising about this horror convention to you? What did you expect and what didn't you actually get too much of?
Well, you know what was funny is I was sitting here, I was sitting at home before I came over, and I said, I got to remember to say that because it was what struck me at the show. When John said we were going and, bring the camera, do what we normally do, I thought I was going to be walking into a Marilyn Manson concert circa 1997, nothing but guy liner and leather. And what struck me the most about it was just how and I don't mean this in a bad way, just how normal everyone was.
Like Connecticut
Nowadays, when you have to say, I don't mean normal in a bad way.
Not
Yeah,
normal
no,
in
I
a
don't
bad
mean normal
way.
in a bad way. I mean, like, it was just like it was parents with kids, and you had
yeah, it was
multi-generational families,
Yep.
and like the environment was the environment was like so welcoming. Not that I wouldn't think that it wouldn't be welcoming, but I just kind of had it in my head. Everyone was going to be dressed like Pinhead and look like like a Rammstein concert. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's
no, I
kind
get
of
that.
what I thought.
I get that. I think not that I don't want to put him as like the figurehead, but our guest, who we're always with, Scary Larry Dwyer, is kind of like the, I guess, epitome of that, because he, the first time I met Larry, kind of an intimidating looking guy, bald, horn rimmed kind of glasses,
All horror tattoos.
tatted up, horror tattoos. I mean, and you also, if you find out then that he was also in Hatebreed, he was in Death Threat. He's got this cred, and then you meet the guy, and he's literally like the sweetest,
nicest guy.
the nicest guy on earth, and that whole crew that he runs with, seriously, a bunch of the nicest people on earth, and. Just going to the con, I totally agree with Lou. I've known about it, but I learned it more through the Connecticut Cult Classic events, where I was going to those regularly and going, you're seeing these gnarly looking dudes, yet meanwhile, you're talking to them about like the greatest scenes in Jaws or Halloween,
sports,
or
fantasy
sports,
football,
or
Antonio Brown, whatever.
Suddenly it becomes like this kind of like normalization of what you expect these fans to be.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like that whole Califiore at Terrificon when all of a sudden we're just talking about the Giants.
Yeah.
and it just
Jim
turned into like,
Calafiore,
it's the same type of thing. It's like all of a sudden you're standing there and it just goes all over the place, the conversations.
Yeah.
So it was really neat.
So we went on the Saturday. It was a one-day show. We had a booth. We did videos all day long. If you go to YouTube and go to our YouTube channel, Pretty Please with Sugar on Top, subscribe to it, number one. We interviewed a bunch of people. We talked to a bunch of people. Lou, do you have some of the folks that we talked to that day? And then we'll get into kind of like who the guests were celebrity-wise of the show.
Well, I mean, let's see. Well, obviously we talked to Brian from Mobile Horror Companion. That was on we at length, actually.
Brian Spears.
And I completely agree with his assessment of Aliens and Jaws.
Yeah.
He watched the video for that.
Yeah. You got to watch the video here. Brian said, Mobile Horror Companion, one of my favorite podcasts, and they were there all day long, right next to us.
Right next
Awesome
to us,
guys.
like last year.
Just like last year, yeah. Carlos Danger and Brian Spears, two really great guys. And if you're looking for a horror-centric but not horror-only podcast, they talk about 70s crime movies. They talk about a lot
everything.
of stuff. Fantastic. Check them out.
Just really briefly before we keep going, I want to talk about how you drank mushroom juice,
I did.
which was a highlight of the day for me.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird, yeah.
I mean, what did it taste like? I mean, was it just like drinking liquid mushrooms or
Dirt.
dirt?
Yeah, mushrooms are grown in shit. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
No, it tasted like dirt.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I went over to Robert Barron's by myself at some point during the day.
Did you try it?
And I talked to Chef Andy. I got along really well with
Chef Andy is
Chef
rad.
Andy. He's so awesome.
Chef Andy is one of those guys when you meet him, he's just like the most positive. He's so positive you want to hug him all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird thing to say, but when you meet someone that has that kind of, now again, you can't say all the time. Maybe he goes home and pulls on his hair sometimes. Everybody does. But every time I've met Andy, he is just a ball of fucking positivity.
He's
No, I'm
great.
assuming you say like Chef Andy because I mean the man is a chef.
He's a chef.
Well, the funny thing is like I know a few chefs, and my cousin's a chef, and I know their attitudes in a kitchen, especially like head chefs, and when you have a rush and you have tables, and how they can get aggressive and and I just don't see that in him.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
He seems so laid back. I can only imagine.
He's
if,
definitely not the Gordon Ramsay.
No. Yeah,
But you know what? The funny thing is a lot like a lot of the chefs that I know, they're not Gordon Ramsay, but I mean they do get amped up, especially
and
when
he very well may. But I mean,
it's
he
just
definitely.
I don't see that from him.
He's definitely a chill dude. So you
Yeah,
went
he's
over.
a great guy. So, we talked earlier in the day about art and all kinds of stuff. And I went over there afterwards and I said, hey, what's going on? He goes, and him and Sal, they started talking about some mushroom tea. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And let me set this up because we got a little far on this. Sal and Chef Andy, who are two of the guys that run RobertBaronsInc.com, great T-shirts. We were joking around earlier about eating gross stuff.
Right.
Kind of a long story. And Andy is kind of like one of these naturally dudes.
Yeah.
He loves his granola. He
Homogeneous stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And he said he had a jar of homemade mushroom juice, aka tea.
Right, mushrooms.
So me and Sal on video took a sip of it each because it was kind of a bet between the two of us.
Yeah. So, right. And I went over there and they mentioned that. I said, really? I said, first of all, I don't eat mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms at all. But I'm willing to try this tea. He goes, really? He goes, you want to do a camera? I'm like, no, camera, no, I don't need that. Just give me the tea. I'm going to try it. So he gave me the jar, took a big swig, just like Malort. I gave it back to him. I said, that's why they call me the Manster.
You are the
Did
Manster.
you literally say it like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wish we had that.
Yeah, I wish we had that. I really do.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice
Yeah.
intro
No,
video.
I mean,
for you.
no video.
I'll fully say that I don't think it was as bad as I thought it would be, but it tasted like dirt to me. It certainly didn't. It wasn't like, holy shit, I got to get a jug of this and put it on ice.
Yeah, I guess mushroom tea is a good enough description.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm allergic to mushrooms, so I was totally out.
It
on
was.
that one.
It just looked like it was brown.
Oh, it was certainly brown.
You know how iced tea.
Little
Like, I got a
floaters in it.
Snapple here. Yeah, exactly. I got a Snapple. It's brown, but you go, that's Snapple. It's iced tea. It's a good brown. It was the same brown,
It's a good brown.
but it was in a jar that he pulled out of his backpack.
It was
And
like a
it had-
mason
and it
jar.
Warm.
And it was warm, and it basically had schmegma in it. There was mushroom schmegma floating in it. So we did that. You did that apparently too.
Yeah, by myself.
on
Yeah.
the down low.
We want to send you there as well. Check the video out. You can see us doing that, and go to robertbarronsinc.com for fantastic T-shirts and all kinds of accessories. They do some shopping bags. Because if you live in Connecticut, guess what? You need those reusable shopping bags
Yeah.
unless you want to spend 10 cents every time you go.
Fucking walk out of the freaking grocery store with
Yeah.
all kinds of shit in your hands.
Yeah, it's crazy. So who else do we have, Lewis?
We had Melissa Willett from Custom Skull Art by Melissa Willett.
Yeah, Melissa is a multiple sponsor of Connecticut Cult Classics. I don't know if she does every single one. She always does giveaways for the raffles. And I've seen her there a million times. She is if you watch the video, she's not hard to miss. Another very heavily tattooed young lady.
But
Glasses.
super friendly.
Super friendly.
is so neat.
Super friendly. I feel bad because I think I told Lindsay this the whole time I was interviewing her, and I didn't want to be creepy about it. That's why I didn't ask her. And maybe if she hears this, she'll answer me. Maybe I'll message her. She has her lips are pierced, right? Her bottom lip and her top lip. And as I was talking to her, they look like jean buttons. You know what I mean? Like a
Right.
jean button. Like
Yeah.
either it was made into a lip piercing, or maybe it just looked like that to me. And
Like,
I,
are you talking like button the bottom lip to the top lip?
like almost like I don't think you could do that, but that's what it looked like. It was almost like someone made it for her.
Yep.
And at the end of it, I was going to ask her, but I didn't want to seem like I was fixated on her mouth strangely. But as I was talking to her, I noticed it, and I was like, that looks like a jean button.
Let's
But-
just put it out there for all the podcast listeners. I didn't want to make it seem like it, but yeah. No.
well, no, because I wasn't totally fixated on it. But as you're talking to somebody, you notice things. If you were interviewing someone and you noticed every like third word, like fire came out of their mouth, you'd be like, there was fire coming out of your fucking mouth.
What's that about?
Yeah, what's that all
Hey,
about?
you're breathing fire.
But she does. What's her website? Do we have a website for her?
It's just Facebook, Instagram, Custom Skull Art by Melissa Willett.
Yeah, she does some really awesome art, and she does it on sliced up tree trunks, and she makes little coffins that are kind of decorated with horror imagery and Freddy Krueger and Jason and all that stuff.
Well, she was saying
Yeah.
if you watch the video, she had a whole table of stuff, and she was saying that's 4 months of prep for that one
Yeah.
show, which is that's a lot of work for one show.
Yeah,
You know,
she's
4
really-
months getting ready.
She's really rad. She always does cool stuff for Cult Classics, so she was cool. Did you ever go?
Yeah.
I told you to go
Well,
check
you
her out
know
because
what?
she had that shining.
You guys wouldn't let me go with you. I was being punished. I had to stay at the booth. I had to man the booth because I had some
Please.
valuable
No.
equipment.
Yeah, well, yeah, it had equipment, but nobody manned the booth more than our boy Clay.
Can we give Clay a shout out?
We
Oh, yeah,
absolutely
Clay
can.
definitely did.
Yeah, he was our hype man that
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Go Clay.
Matt Sabatino, aka Clay. You know, I'm going to call him AK Clay.
AK.
Because
Clay.
he's a guy we met through
Nepenthes.
Nepenthes, yeah.
Nepenthes.
But to get back to your question, yes,
Yes.
I did after you recommended going over there. I checked her out. I talked to her for quite a while.
Yeah.
She was a fun girl to talk to.
She had like that-
really cool stuff.
She had like that shining. There was
She
a
had
shining.
like the Jack coming through the door. Here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah,
cool.
and I always, whenever I see shining stuff, I think of you
Yeah, I like the Shining.
because you're a big shining fan.
That's
but yeah,
my go-to movie buff.
it is you're kind of annoying with it, but that's okay. I still love it.
That's your Titan AE.
That's it. That's all I know. Here's Johnny. Hey, that's the one quote I know.
Clay, I want to say thank you to him again. Clay is a guy that we met through BoomTube Comics, 1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike here in Southern Connecticut, where we film all of our book by book videos and go hang out there a lot. He is just a guy that shops there, and he came that day and he sat down with us at probably about 11 o'clock in the afternoon and stayed all day long, and
Yeah.
it was absolutely fine. But he watched our stuff. He hung out with us. We did a video with him as
And
well.
he was talking to people because
Yeah.
where our table was right by the door. So everyone who came in walked right by like podcast row, so to speak.
Right.
And we were right on the corner, so we had a really great spot. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Caprolozzi's. People were stopping by the table all day long, and when we weren't there because we were filming or we were, talking to people or whatnot, and Clay was watching the booth, even the few times I was there editing, like with my headphones on, not that I didn't want to talk to anybody, but I was working. Clay was on it, giving out pins and stickers and telling everyone what we're about, so he was aces.
We got a lot of that. Even when you guys were gone doing your videos, just me and John for a while. Yeah, we got a lot of people coming by. A lot of people with their children.
I had a few people come by, and I tell them, hey, look, check us out. Check one episode out. The episode that was out that week was the Mad Max episode, which I think was pretty solid because you weren't on it. So no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No,
it hurts. It hurts my soul.
I was trying to figure out. I wanted to put one of the horror centric episodes out, but I wanted to get the Mad Max one out. So I still think though people, if they went and listened to it, I think they might have gotten.
I wonder if we'll get an uptick this coming week.
I haven't seen.
I guess maybe it would have been the 100th episode.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit, but I mean the videos have been getting checked out, and I think hopefully if Caprolozzi's share this one out, this should get some because people are going to want to kind of hear the wrap up of it as well.
Yeah.
Who else do we have? Who else do we talk to?
Our friend Brennan Fremantle.
Brennan Fremantle, who is just an awesome dude.
And a ridiculous artist, yeah.
He is. I made the joke on the video about I needed knee pads to kind of really.
It got weird.
There was nothing weird about it.
I heard it got weird.
It was nothing
like
weird
right in front of his daughter. You were like that too.
That was weird.
Yeah, you were like
when I said I was going to break the knee. Well, here's a guy that in front of his 15-year-old daughter said the F-bomb about 18 times, and then I made a very vague knee pad joke about. I would need a set of knee pads to really convey what a great artist this guy is. And then everybody's right in front of his daughter. I'm like, he just said fuck 18 times in front of her.
I didn't think it was weird at all.
Thank you.
I just
so
heard
much.
that from other people.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, it was pretty weird.
Yeah, Luke kept going there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say this right out loud now. I do a lot of these videos. When you talk a lot, there comes a point where you're just trying to fill space and you don't know what to say anymore. And sometimes I say things that I guess maybe aren't broadcast worthy.
Well, I mean, it's on the internet now, so it's there forever.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that.
Don't ever run for Congress.
Yeah, but Brennan is an incredible tattoo artist, is an incredible artist, period. And his daughter is following in his footsteps. He was talking about how he's getting her into all the horror movies.
Yep.
And his girlfriend, Madalena, is really cool, and she's also really into this stuff. So that was a great conversation.
Speaking of Brennan, if you're out there listening, I am going to have you do a tattoo for me.
Yeah.
I know we keep talking about it, but
Did you see the tattoo he put on Facebook this week of all the snack foods?
No, I didn't see that.
He did I don't remember what it was on it, but he did a tattoo for somebody with a bunch of snack foods on. I think they're on their arm.
Speaking of tattoos,
Cool.
I know we said this while I was there. I firmly believe that I was the only person over the age of 18 without a tattoo.
That could be.
I really do. I looked around.
We never tested it because we actually said at the beginning of the day we were going to ask everybody we talked to, do you have a tattoo? And now that I think about it, Brennan's covered. Melissa Willette was covered. Brian Spears, maybe not. Brian Spears might be one of those guys that has like a skull and crossbones on his upper arm. I don't think Carlos Danger.
Tribal armband,
maybe. Yeah.
like a bad 90s, early 2000s. I'm listening to Stained, and I got a tribal armband.
There it is.
Yeah.
How about Sal? Does he have any?
I don't know. Sal, do you have any tattoos? Oh, that's right. He's not here. I will ask him, though. I will ask him. Who else do we have?
Brian from Satanic Panic 81.
Brian Birdsey, Satanic Panic 81, currently scoring the next movie by Curtis Spieler, who did Sheepskin and The Devil's Well. Dead Girl in Apartment 6, it's called.
No. 3. Room 3, I think.
Yeah.
Is it Apartment 3 or Room 3?
It's one of those two. It is the dead girl in Room and or Apartment 3.
Right. I can't wait to check that out.
I'm so psyched. Curtis is such a cool guy, and Brian.
I hope he has a similar, preview like we did before.
I would love that.
Yeah,
I would love that. I think you only want to go because his girlfriend made those waffles.
Man.
We went to the Devil's Well preview. His girlfriend made hot waffles, as a dessert type thing, and Lloyd was like, I felt like I was with me. Because Lloyd was like,
I think you can hear about those waffles in 3 or 4 podcasts.
We saw them. We saw Curtis and his girlfriend maybe 3 months after that at one of the Cult Classics things, and she was with him. And he introduced me to her, and you weren't with me.
No.
And I said, yeah. I said, Lloyd, the guy that came with me, loved your waffles, and she literally got excited. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like home run. The waffles were fantastic. Curtis is like, how was my movie? Like, no, the waffles.
Waffles were great. Had those waffles and everything.
Yeah. So where can we find Satanic Panic?
Facebook, Satanic Panic 81, and Twitter and all that. Same thing. Pretty easy to find.
Yeah, you can get their debut album, Sacrifice Hunter, out right now. So, and then they're going to have their second album, Mara, it's called, coming soon. And then the score to The Dead Girl in whatever the fuck room apartment that was, 3, yeah.
Can I just say honestly though,
Yeah.
and I don't, and that's normally not my genre of music. I like Sacrifice Hunter a lot.
It's awesome.
I put it on in the background because, as he describes it, it's a soundtrack to a movie that doesn't exist. By the way, YouTube channel, we had him on the radio, so there's a great interview if you go back on the YouTube a bit.
That's right. Yeah, we talked to him a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's a score to a movie that doesn't exist. And like I said, if I'm doing something where like I just kind of want to have like something in the background playing, I put that on a lot, and that's not normally my genre of music.
Yeah.
So
I listen to it when I read, and trivia for you. I think we all know this. Maybe Lou doesn't know this. And the first track is the only track with any vocals, and it's by the character of the Sacrifice Hunter, Larry Dwyer. Larry Dwyer is the Sacrifice Hunter. He does the vocals on.
no
on
kidding, I
track.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yep, Scary Larry Dwyer.
I didn't know that either.
So check Brian out. Satanic Panic 81. Awesome stuff.
So Lou, who else do we have?
We had Michael Lombardi from Michael T. Originals and his cast of Halloween, Michael vs. Michael, upcoming movie.
Yeah, we talked to Michael last year's
Last year
CT
was
Horror
a
Fest.
shot-by-shot remake
Shot by shot Halloween
of
remake.
Halloween.
Very cool. And then this year he's doing this. It's a bit to get into. Watch the video if you want to hear more about the plot. But he's got a couple of young actors and actresses in this
Jack Stone.
Jack Stone.
Aggressively handsome
I know.
Jack Stone.
That kid is a pert
Lou
plus model.
Yeah.
was just gaga over him.
Yeah, well, I admittedly Jack Stone.
Well, you know what it is? It's not that I was gaga over him. It's just like I said to you at the show. I said there is something about actors. They just look better than normal people.
Yeah.
And it's freaking disgusting. And it just irritates the hell out of me. Like, I consider Lloyd a good-looking guy. Lloyd's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
You know what I mean? Like Chris Rodell, our buddy. You know,
Good-looking
from arguing
guy.
myself,
Good-looking
good-looking
guy.
guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, good-looking guys. But like, there's like good-looking guy, and then there's like actor good-looking guy, and he is just like his hair like was just
His
it's like
hair
he-
was great,
I bet
man.
you he woke up that morning, and that is just his hair. You know what I mean? Like he's like, oh no, this is
bedhead.
just bedhead.
Yeah.
DJ Catrona is an actor from Wallingford,
Yeah.
Connecticut, where we live. He has starred in he starred in the there was a television series for a few years, From Dusk Till Dawn. He played the George Clooney role. He was in G.I. Joe Retaliation. Was that what that was called?
Yeah, the one with Bruce Willis.
He played
Yeah.
Flint. He's been in a few things. He was actually cast when George Miller of Mad Max fame was going to make Justice League. DJ Catrona was going to play Superman. That whole thing fell apart. He never played Superman. He's been into where I work, right? I run a retail establishment. He's come in before. His dad is a regular customer of mine, and somehow or another, me and his dad have actually talked about the fact that, like, you know, I know who your son is, and we chat all the time about it. Matter of fact, DJ Catrona was recently in, you love the movie, Shazam.
Shazam, yeah.
He was the adult version of the Heavyset Kid.
Yep.
And again, so you see the movie, you see this kind of square-jawed kid. The 2 times he's been in my store, he is noticeably better looking than anybody in the zip code.
Yeah.
and it's like it's you almost lend it to the fact that he's just not of the same ilk as everybody else. He's a movie. He's even though he's not maybe like top level, he's a fucking movie star, and he's just got something going on.
And they have like a presence about him. It's like I've always said about Billy Johnstone. And when Billy Johnstone walks in a room, it's just like it's almost like spotlights pop out of the ceiling and just land on him.
Yeah, Billy Johnson, the awesome host of our lead in
There's
Broadway
something
radio.
about the
Yeah.
way people. It's not so much look; it's just a presentation,
Yeah.
sort of an aura.
And I mean, it's like you see Billy. He's got the show before ours on Sunday night, and I mean, like when we're in like the other studio doing whatever, doing the Facebook lives or whatever, if they're on a break, he'll walk in the room, and it's just like the minute he walks in the room, I swear to God, it's like a band starts playing and lights shine on him. It's like, and it's just it's just that I don't know. It's like a presence they have.
It's a personality.
Yeah,
thing.
it
It's
is.
a personality. Personality plus looks equals you got it going on, and so I know what you're saying with the good. Like I said, DJ Catrona's come in a few times, and it's like this combination between like you look at him. It's like you're looking at the sun for too long. It's like it's like you're super handsome yet you're beautiful, and suddenly I want to go.
Now I'm so confused.
Yeah, I'm so confused, and I feel like I should go buy you lunch.
It's like
I
an
don't know, it's-
eclipse. You have to look at it through a shoebox with
Yeah.
like aluminum foil.
You got to poke a hole in
Poke a hole
something.
in-
Yeah.
You know, if Johnson was here, he would be just
He would-
disgusted right
he's
now.
He'll eventually hear this episode in 3 years and go.
We spent 5 minutes talking about good-looking men.
That's all right. That's all right. I want to do a whole show on man crushes. I'm gonna force him to do it. Whole show on man crushes. All right, Lou. Who else did we talk to?
We had local eatery Jesse Camille's Restaurant, who supplied a wonderful beer that Sir John and Lloyd were partaking of all day.
Oh,
And-
No, that was my first one.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. Sir John was partaking of all day, and you had your first one in the video.
Yeah.
But you guys partook of it.
It was great. Yeah, that guy was a lot of fun to talk to as well. Oh, not to mention a fabulous meatball grinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what was the name of it?
Jesse Camille's restaurant.
Yeah.
where
Very
are
good
they
stuff.
located?
615 North Church Street in Naugatuck.
All right, so if you're in Naugatuck and you get hungry, and you're going to be in Naugatuck quite a bit in October, because I don't want to skip too far ahead, but don't forget about Spooky October. The CT Horror Fest guys, Horror News Network, they have got a whole month of
So
weekends.
much stuff going on.
It is like the Step Brothers scene with activities. There's so much more room for activities in this place, and every weekend they're going to have something going on. It's incredible. So go to horrornewsnetwork.net and go up to the top of the screen and click on Spooky October and just start picking and choosing what you want to do.
Want to do, right? Yeah. And then they have the Halloween in a Box movie premiering on October 4th.
That's
October
coming
4th.
soon. Yeah, October 4th.
Friday,
week or
October
two.
4th. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
My wife and I are interested at I think it's called UFOs over Connecticut.
UFOs over Connecticut. There's one.
I think I'm
with,
going to go to that too. That
yeah.
sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little boned on the 4th though, buddy.
Yeah, we're going. You and I are in New York.
New York Comic Con. I was sad about that because it's like nothing. My life is I never have anything to do or I have too much to do, and it's all in the same time period.
I think I always have too much to do.
I wish I was in your shoes. I wish I was in your shoes.
There's a trivia night too, right?
Trivia-
Are we doing that?
Yes, we are doing that. It's going to be me, you, Chris Frodell, and his wife Melanie, and then we need one more person. Lou, you're more than welcome to come.
You will lose if I am on your horror
Just
movie
come
trivia
anyway.
team.
Just
I mean, I'll
come.
go,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna be on the team.
All right.
You'll
All right.
lose.
So you could do all that stuff.
I might be able to get someone else.
Go to their website. Go to Spooky October. All right. So was that it for all the actual interviews we did? Basically, a couple others
Yep. For
in
the
there?
most part, that was it. Yep. Outside of people we spoke to on the side, and I think Lloyd had a couple of them.
Yeah, we
All right,
spoke.
Master. Who do we talk to?
One guy, Christopher Triana. He's an author, not just a horror author, but he's got a lot of horror themed books. He's from Unionville, Connecticut.
That's up in your neck of the woods.
That's part of Farmington, I guess. It's not actually Farmington.
It's a suburb.
Suburb of Farmington. They go to the same high school, so
Right.
whatever. So I got a book from him called Growing Dark, a collection of short stories. He had a whole bunch of other ones. One was winner of some kind of award. I can't remember right now, but it was called Full Brutal. It was a pretty nasty, brutal, bloody cheerleader book. I don't know what it's about, but Sir John bought it, and I believe he's going to review it on the website.
All right.
So after that, I also talked to Carmine Capobianco. Some of you might know him from the movie Psychos in Love, which was pretty insane.
I only thing I know about that movie is I saw the guy there, and I saw that he was from Psychos in Love. And the only thing I remember about that movie very specifically is when we went to New York Comic Con last year. On the train, you and Chris Frodell talked about that movie for probably about 25 minutes because I think you two were both fans of it.
Yeah, it's got psycho killers that meet each other, or serial killers, that meet each other, and they both have a hatred for grapes.
Jesus.
Which is just a weird ass thing to write about, but it worked really well in the movie. It was hilarious, and kind of disgusting as well.
So you met him and you picked up his books?
Right. So he had a couple of books on the table and some other stuff. So I picked up Tall and Short Tales of My Hometown. Now he's from Connecticut.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
So yeah, and then the other one's called The Rude Pen, which is I guess some short stories.
The Rude Pen and Tall and Short Tales of My Hometown.
Yeah.
Carmine.
He was the nicest guy, man. He even gave me a discount on the books because I bought two of them. He was awesome.
That's how you got to do it, man.
Yeah.
That's how you got to do it. They had, I want to throw this out there. They had, I don't want to say numbers because I don't know the numbers. They had to have had at least 20 more booths this year than last year.
They did have a lot more.
And I didn't talk to every vendor, but the vendors were very cool. I didn't see any issues. I didn't hear anybody have any problems with anybody. Yeah. Myself, who knows what happened behind the scenes, but it just seemed like a very good show in terms of who was, everybody getting along.
Oh yeah.
And it was crowded as fuck.
It was really crowded.
I don't know.
There was a lot of space.
There was a lot of space, but that show maintained its level of crowd better than most
for several hours.
So
it only lightened up like maybe with 2 hours to go.
Those middle aisles, man.
There's 5:30.
Me and Lou went down those middle aisles several times to find people to do videos with.
Yeah.
And it was like, I want to talk to this guy, but he's got 9 people in front of him, and I don't want to bother him right now. We had to go back to Brian Satanic Panic 81 twice because there's just people all over the place.
Yeah.
These are good problems to have.
Yep. And then the last people that I talked to was our good old friends at Vinegar Syndrome, Curtis Spieler, we already spoke about. And he had a bunch of really cool Blu-rays that they restore. And I asked his advice on some of the ones out there. And, I picked up about 4 or 5 to look at, and he narrowed it down for me. And I ended up getting There's Nothing Out There, which I don't know anything about, but it looks pretty creepy.
That looks like a critter and or a troll.
Yeah, it does. Looks like a critter. And then Hell Comes to Frogtown.
I have never seen that movie. Rowdy
Piper. Yeah.
I had that in my hand, and like I said, I'm not into this type of movie, but just because it's Rowdy Piper, I wanted to buy it. Plus, the packaging on it is awesome.
The packaging. We're going to take a picture of the packaging so that Lou could put it up on the website when this episode comes out. The packaging is like this kind of like triangular cut box.
Yeah, it's got like a V-shaped cut out of the top.
You pop the top part off, and then you got the inside piece, right?
And then they got a DVD and a Blu-ray inside.
Oh, man. And I guess what he was saying is there's something about he's the people know this movie. We're not telling anybody things they don't know, but Rowdy Piper is the last fertile man on Earth.
Yeah,
and they bring him to some town that's inhabited by mutant frogs because there's also, I guess, besides mutant frogs, there's the last fertile women on Earth.
Right.
So
they give him a chastity belt.
When you're done with that, can I borrow that? Because again,
absolutely.
I have not seen this movie, so I'm excited to check
it out. I can't wait to get down to the archive.
Why the last man in there?
Yeah, sort of.
Last fertile guy.
25 years beforehand. Yeah.
Well, no. I know. What I'm saying is, like, I can see a little tiny bit of.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I'm sure inspiration for why in that.
Brian Vaughn might have been inspired by that.
Maybe.
So I'm looking forward to Black Friday, where they have their Black Friday, like maybe 50% off.
We got to go back. We're bringing Lou with us because Lou loves it.
That store's awesome.
Yeah.
Lou, who I was convinced would not like the archive, who I just thought was coming along for a ride, we had to like drag him out of there. He's looking at all the records. Oh, look at this, look at that. I'm like, come on, let's go, man.
It was a great day. And you know what the thing is, like downstairs there, where they have just like all the records kind of like in, no discernible order. Like when they bring them in, they're not out in alphabetical or anything like that. I could spend all day down there looking at the records. I mean, just going through them and trying to find something.
I wish I had a record player, and then again, I wish I didn't, or I'm glad I don't, because I would be spending way too much money.
I'm exactly there with you. I'm glad I don't have a record player because and these records, I mean, not against them, but they're just not cheap.
Yeah,
you know, I was looking at like the Alien 40th anniversary record set, and it was like fucking $60, and I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? And I want it.
Well, it just so happened that the day we were there, someone must have come in and sold their Doors collection, because I was going through like the stuff that had just come in the door, and they had Doors, L.A. Woman, Strange Days, Waiting for the Sun, Morrison Hotel, and I'm sitting there going, oh my god, if I had a spare couple $100, all of these would be coming home because they were all original. And I like
how you said they came in the door too.
What do we mean they came in the door?
Did you get that?
I don't know.
The door.
Oh! I thought we were.
Come on, now touch me, baby. Can't you see that I am not afraid? Oh, come on. What was that promise?
You're right.
I came in at the wrong time. I
actually thought we were about to go back to John needing knee pads. Is where I thought we were transitioning back to. But
I love the Doors, man. I love the Doors.
Yeah, no, and I honestly got to find a couple extra.
Promise that you made?
All right, Lou. That was a great transition from Touch Me right into who the celebrity guests were at this show. Who did we? Now, personally, I didn't talk to anybody myself. But
I talked to the one guy that we could see directly across from us.
Right across from us. And like, please, horror fans, don't get on me. I don't know horror. I believe they were called the Cenobites.
Yes,
from
Hellraiser.
Yeah. Okay, they were in our visual range. And the gentleman, and I actually have the list next to me, so I don't sound as stupid as I am about these things.
The gentleman who played Pinhead.
Well, you know what it is about horror is I think I wrote in the wrap-up article that night I went home and I watched Hellraiser because I was so inspired.
Yeah.
And while I appreciate what it is, I think the thing is, like, in an alternate timeline, like a young me never saw Star Wars and watched Hellraiser.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just like that, like, it has to hit you at a certain age, and I think you kind of grow up in it. Where like Star Wars was my thing.
It's a young kid thing.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and then like all of a sudden it's
maybe 11.
Yeah, like I said, an alternate timeline. Lou watched Hellraiser instead of Star Wars.
Hellraiser's
he was there.
Hellraiser's a heady one too. That's a weird movie.
I thought it was fun.
It is fun.
It is fun.
The trampy like the stepmother's fucking the meat dude.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird movie. The box with the hooks ripping everybody apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Doug Bradley. Yeah, Doug Bradley played
Played Pinhead.
Pinhead, but we're sharpening our trivia skills.
Okay.
From what I understand, I think Larry told us this. He's never credited as Pinhead in anything.
Oh.
In Hellraiser, he's credited, I believe, as Cenobite Priest or just Priest.
Really?
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
But he played that character. I'm just going to guess there was 11 Hellraiser movies. He played him for like the first 9, and now I guess they have a different guy.
Wow, that's long.
That's
long
crazy.
term.
It's
Holy
crazy.
cow.
He was.
Is he ever called Pinhead in anything?
I'm gonna defer to Larry, who's not here, and say I don't think so. I think Pinhead was more of a
Like
That's
a
a
term of
fan
endearment,
thing.
a fan
fan
name.
endearment and
Yeah.
or maybe a production thing. But like I said, if you look at the credits for Hellraiser, at the very least, he is not called Pinhead in the credits.
Well, in any event, Doug Bradley's booth was basically right across from us, and that dude's booth was packed from the minute the show started until the minute we left.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like I'm not talking like 5 or 10 people. I mean, he probably had 40, 50, 60 people.
That was
in
a
line
line
at
all
any
day
given-
long.
I think Larry had actually said at one point they had to go have more headshots printed for him because he ran out.
They had to send one of the folks out to get more
Yeah.
headshots. Yeah, crazy with Doug Bradley there. He was definitely fans wanted to check him out.
Yeah, so I think the rest of the Cenobites, and once again, I have the list, so I sound intelligent. Was it Barbie Wilde, Simon Bamford, and Nicholas Vince?
Yeah, honestly, I can't lie to you. I don't know. I'm going with what you have from that list over there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big enough fan to know that. But hold on one second, folks. We have a special. We just re-signed.
special guest.
Oh,
we
he's
just
back.
re-signed him. Sir John is back. Hold on. Let's get him into the proceedings.
Well, and we didn't have to actually give back the 7th round pick for him either, so
No,
that's
no.
good. So,
How you doing?
Great. Hi.
Hi.
How far are you into this?
We're almost done.
Oh, excellent.
We're almost done.
The beer was good.
The beer was good.
Yeah, there you go. We talked a
we
little
did
bit,
speak on that.
just very briefly.
We did speak on that. All right. So who else do we have? Let's bring
Oh,
in
and David Naughton.
David
was,
Naughton. Yeah.
He was
From
the closest
American
one to
Werewolf.
us.
Yeah, he was
a friendly guy.
all day long. Very popular.
Yeah.
Seemed very friendly. David
I did
Naughton,
speak to him just very briefly. Told him I was a fan, and
Connecticut native, and I guess from what
Yeah,
I heard,
West Hartford.
He lives in Westport. I think someone said so.
I'm not
doesn't.
sure.
He
Not now.
doesn't. No.
He doesn't.
no,
Okay.
no, he doesn't.
Okay, so West Hartford.
His brother,
He's from West Hartford.
his
He went to
brother lives
Concord.
here still.
Oh, okay. So he still has some family up
Yeah.
there.
Well, I was going to say now they split up the celebrity guests. So we had
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, we had the Cenobites and David Naughton on like one side with us. I think somebody else was over there.
Yeah,
too,
there's
but
a lady right
Yeah.
next to him
Yeah.
from.
I want to
Night of
bring
the Living Dead.
I want to bring up my Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead.
Here's my funny story about her.
Oh boy.
At the end of the night, no, not John's funny story. At the end of the night,
I don't have a funny story.
it was quiet. 2 hours left. Everybody was at the panels. So we're sitting in our booth, and I see our good friend Ryan LeMay, the super
Stephen King, super fan.
Stephen King fan, who's a volunteer for CT Horror Fest, and Sean McLaughlin, who was on the show with us not too long ago.
Yeah.
They're standing over by Doug Bradley's booth, and there's a lady standing with them. So I'm like, well, you know what? They're not busy. I want to say hi to them. This is my chance to go say hi to the guy. So I walk over to them, and then you got Sean, and you got Ryan, and then you have this lady kind of standing there, and I'm talking to them, and she's just kind of standing there very politely, and she's wearing all black, so I'm assuming she's just some CT Horror Fest,
Fan.
a fan or a helper.
Right.
And I don't recognize her. I talk to them, and she kind of floats away, walks away. And then like 40 minutes later or so, when everybody's coming back, I go back over kind of to see David Naughton, be a little closer to him. And she's sitting at a booth. And she's sitting there, and it says Galen Ross,
That's it, Galen
star of Dawn of the Dead, the 78 Dawn of the Dead. And I realized, I'm like, she was standing there. And like I could have easily just said, "Hey,
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead's not as good as Day of the Dead," or something along
man.
those lines. But it was just funny because like I thought she was just one of the people working the thing.
Okay.
Because here's the reason she's kind of, I don't want to say unrecognizable, is she starred in 2 movies. Period. She was in Dawn of the Dead, and a couple years later she was in Creepshow. And then she quit acting to become like
was
a
she one of the-
documentary filmmaker.
Was she the one got buried?
Yeah, she was
Up
the one
to the
sleeping
neck
with
with
Ted
Ted
Danson.
Danson, yeah.
Yeah, she made 2 movies in the late 70s, early 80s, and then became like a pretty successful documentary filmmaker.
Buried to the neck with Ted Danson will put you out of acting. That's the story there. It's-
Buried to your neck with Ted Danson by who, though?
Oh shit.
Oh, I remember.
Who was it?
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie
Yes,
Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen's great because, like, if you only know Leslie Nielsen from his latter half of his career, you don't realize that at one point he was a leading man.
Oh, yeah.
At one point he could play a son of a bitch like that
Oh,
guy in
God,
Creep
yeah.
Show. It was crazy. So, okay, Lou. So we had David Naughton, star of American Werewolf in London, Making It, the great disco track and TV show. And someone reminded me, and I totally forgot about this. He was the male lead in My Sister Sam.
My Sister Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
where-
told you that.
Yeah, where the young the star of the show, Rebecca, I can't remember her name, was shot to death by a fan.
Yeah.
And obviously the show ended, and very very crazy shit.
That took a dark turn.
Well, it was
Yeah.
true.
I mean, it did.
Well,
It
the
was
show
like-
actually ended before that happened.
Did the show end before
Yeah.
that happened? Okay,
I learned that on the
she had a stalker and
mobile horror news,
mobile horror companion.
mobile horror companion. Yeah, they interviewed him.
Fuck you, Eugene.
Yeah, Carlos. It's Carlos.
They were only our next door neighbor all day. You could get their name right, Lloyd.
Dude, I can't remember shit
Manster.
anymore.
Manster.
The horror names.
Their name, your
They
glasses.
intermingle in my head. I can't get it straight.
He got it. He brought his glasses.
He did, yeah.
We're gonna start calling you Madam Mim.
Yeah.
You know what he did with his glasses today that irritated me though, because his glasses are always going to
forget him
irritate
this
me. No, he remembered them, but before we started recording, he pulled them out for something. He put them down, glass side down. Are you just trying to scratch your glasses?
There, I fixed
There
them.
you go, better. There.
Jesus. Well, back to the show.
Back to the show. All right, who else?
On the other side, because they had all the Cenobites and David Naughton and
Galen Ross.
Galen Ross.
Oh, and also, this is kind of funny. The guy who played the killer, and I guess the burning? Lou David, who if you saw him, the fans liked him, I'm sure. This guy was as old as you could fucking get. Did you see that guy?
Wow.
I did not.
Yeah.
Old as you can fucking get.
He was literally probably in his late 80s, early 90s. This guy was old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, he's as old as you
I don't know.
in
It
a
kind of
bad way.
sounded it.
Yeah. No, what? I hope to be that old someday.
Yeah, no, so do I.
Good
Trust
for him.
me. Yeah.
Good for him.
In any event, on the other side of the room for the fourth time,
We had all
the
the
other
saw.
side of the event center, what was it? It was Shawnee Smith, Tobin Bell, Danielle Harris, and Sean Patrick Flannery.
The ridiculously tall Sean Patrick Flannery.
The ridiculously
With the
tan
unbuttoned shirt.
Sean Patrick
Flannery.
Flannery.
Wow.
He's. Can we go back to like a second, like to a topic earlier about like
I know where you're going.
actors
Yeah.
coming in and just looking better than normal human beings. I mean, he walked in the door because the door where all the celebrities
by
were coming
us.
was right by us, and I mean like the dude just comes in and you're like, and just like all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, he's an actor.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't know who he was, I'd be like, yeah, that's somebody important because he just has. They just have that air about them. It's weird.
I just love when they came in. It was him and Shawnee Smith came in together, and everyone's staring at Shawnee Smith, and he goes, "Good morning, everyone."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's here too.
Well, you know what's something.
Yeah, I noticed Shawnee Smith more than him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I did.
Shawnee Smith, by the way, I was just curious after the show. 50 years old.
Yeah.
50.
Wow.
Yeah. She looked good. She was thin. She was thin.
Yeah,
50
she's
is the new
thin.
30.
She's in good shape.
Yeah, no, she was in really good shape.
Yep.
And Sean Patrick Flannery, I guess not someone I interviewed, someone I was just talking to at the show said that he was signing his Playgirl issue. I didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess he was in Playgirl at some point.
He was a playgirl.
Yeah,
That's-
Young Indiana Jones, Boondock Saints, Saw. I think he was in the last Saw movie, is what I read. And
4.
and Playgirl.
And the Dead Zone.
That's right. He played the Martin Sheen,
right.
crazy president there.
The TV show.
Yeah,
The TV show. Yeah, I always forget. I never saw that show, and I always forget that he was in that, but he was in it the whole time.
I watched most of the first season. It was good.
Yeah.
And then I think that's when I cut the cable, so I didn't really catch up on it again after that. So
And Danielle Harris, man, oh man.
She's hot.
Wow, yeah.
She's hot.
She's smoking.
She was.
Was that the one who was waiting for the limo when we were leaving?
Oh yeah.
We walked right by her, and I will
Everyone's
say
piling
this.
to the limo van.
She's out there with her kid and her nanny, and they're waiting for the limo van, and we had to walk by her to get to Lou's truck, and good looking up close, and she smelled really good too. Like
yeah,
it was,
see, I didn't get to walk by her. I'm upset now.
We're not getting into
You know,
creep
the
mode
night
here.
before,
How is that creep mode? She smelled good.
you smell good.
Yeah.
standing there with the kids and waiting for and she smelled really good.
The guy with the PhD in creep. I attended Harvard University in creepiness.
But then he would know.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe he detected creep. No, she was pretty. She looked good. She's
You know, I wanted to go meet her, and I wanted to do a request for her to sing "In the Pines"
in the pines
because do you remember Stakeland?
She was in that.
They
yes,
met her
yeah,
in a
right.
bar, and she was singing in
Yep.
the Pines in there, and I thought it was pretty good.
Stakeland was an awesome movie. Yeah, yeah. You know, she's still she's one of those actresses. She was a kid actress.
Yeah.
You know, she was 11 years
Halloween
old in Halloween
4
4
and
and 5. And then she was on Roseanne for a while, and she was the daughter in Last Boy Scout. She was Bruce Willis's daughter in Last Boy
no
Scout.
kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't- I
with
didn't realize that was
the
her,
bunny
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
I've gotta watch
yeah.
Great movie.
I still
Yeah.
like that movie.
I do
yeah.
too. I do too. What are you going to do when this day's over? I'm going to dance a jig. What is he doing? He's dancing a jig. All right, Lou. So who else do we have? Anybody else we're missing?
I didn't see where he was, but did I mention Don Shanks yet?
Don Shanks, I actually watched. Don Shanks played Michael Myers in Halloween 5 with Danielle Harris. And I watched the panel on YouTube. If you go to Horror News Network and go to the YouTube channel and subscribe and hit the bell, you could see all the panels from the day.
I didn't see any panels. Did anybody here go to any panels?
They were all at the end of the night.
At the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, John was busy trying to make sure he was still breathing. No, when it got real quiet, those last couple hours, that's because all the panels were going on.
Right. Okay.
But you could watch them they're all up on their website.
All right.
Or on their YouTube channel. And I watched the Don Shanks one.
It's a nice panel room up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really nice. And they had it set up really good.
Who was Danielle Harris on Roseanne?
She played on Roseanne.
I'm looking at pictures now, and I don't recognize.
She played only for like a year. She was the next door neighbor who had a crush on David, and Darlene was always like wary of her because she wanted to, Johnny Galecki. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yep. She was only on like a year or two.
You know, Johnny Galecki has had awful good luck with women on TV shows. I mean, you got obviously Danielle Harris, Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, but he also had
like-
Sarah Gilbert. So, I mean, I guess that kind of...
What's with that, man? What?
She's not really
wrong
good.
with Sarah Gilbert?
She's not really good looking.
Who?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
I'm being honest.
Wow.
Do you think Sarah Gilbert's good looking?
That's not cool, man.
That she's not good looking and I said it?
Wow.
You're a fucking...
Oh, Lou's really getting into this.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
stepping away from
Yeah.
this one.
I'm just busting them.
What?
Yeah, Kaylee Cuoco, wonderful. Danielle Harris at 12 or 13, great. Sarah Gilbert, yeah, okay.
Wow, she was that young on that show?
Probably, that was like 20
I
some odd
honestly
years
don't
ago.
know.
Yeah, I think she's like 41
42.
or 42.
I was like,
yeah,
yeah. Google.
yeah. I like how I'm getting called creep, and Lou's got this. Nobody can see it but me.
I didn't know who she was.
He's got the entire Danielle Harris like thing on his screen over there. And there's just like, and he put them all into the spank
Zooming up.
bank. Yeah, for later on tonight.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, that's totally what happened. Because
Yeah.
I don't know who somebody is. That's different than calling Sarah Gilbert ugly.
Bring up a picture of Sarah Gilbert when she was like 15 years old.
Oh God, this is
Man, oh man.
nosedive. What did I walk into here?
You walked into Sarah Gilbert not
This
being
is
good
what
looking.
this is what happens when you come in late.
Yeah.
I never, especially because her sister's a smoke show, right? Melissa Gilbert.
Oh.
When Melissa Gilbert was older, like when she was married to Bruce Boxenleitner.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. All right, you don't know who that is, do you?
Not a clue.
Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, okay.
But
You don't
when she
know-
got older.
You don't know Melissa Gilbert.
Yeah, I know. The name's
Okay.
very familiar.
Yeah.
I think she did all those movies that my mom liked to watch.
The
on,
Gilbert
like, all the
Girls.
time.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear? I'll tell that one later.
Oh, Jesus. He doesn't want to get stuck in a Sarah Gilbert ugly controversy.
No.
that
I
I'm
don't.
in
I don't
right
want to.
now.
I don't want to start talking about Melissa Gilbert on a show about the horror show.
Yeah, all right.
Just
We're done. Moving on.
moving on.
Moving on. Sorry, Sarah Gilbert.
Another time.
Yeah.
So we had a great day. I do want to shout out real quick before we get to out of here. Obviously, Rob and Christine Caprolozzi, Scary Larry Dwyer, and then the entire crew. I don't know all of them, but I'll shout out the names I do know. Ryan LeMay, our Stephen King
Right,
buddy.
yep.
He was there. He volunteers. He does a great job. Sean McLaughlin from Horror News Network. He was there doing a great job. Matt Wilson, our buddy Matt, who does all the giveaways at the CT Cult Classics, Connecticut Cult Classics. He's a great dude.
Yep.
We talked to him for a while. Chris Conway, who I actually knew years ago when I used to go do local trivia. He was the trivia guy, and I just kind of re-met him because he happens to be one of the guys from Cult Classics. He's an awesome dude. I'm trying to think of who else. Ken Gard. Ken Gard is
that?
Ken's Ryan's buddy, the big brick shithouse dude with the gray hair who at the Cult Classics things always yells out stuff. He's hilarious.
that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He actually was doing, I think, from what I can tell in the video, like the lights and sound during the panels. If anybody else, if I'm forgetting anybody else, Nick Banks. Nick Banks, our buddy Nick
yeah.
Banks. We talked to him for a little while. He's a great dude. Anybody else I'm forgetting from that crew, because it's just off the top of my head, you guys did a wonderful job. We had a great time. We had a great time sponsoring. We look forward to next year, and we got a date for you next year.
Who's that?
So, well, not you. You're not going on a date next year.
I was getting excited.
What the hell happened?
Maybe we can go somewhere. Maybe,
I'll be honest. I mean, there were people coming up to the table that I think wanted to date Lloyd, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Mothers and daughters.
Yeah. Hey, I saw you at Terrificon.
Moving on.
It's very possible Lloyd's in somebody's spank bank.
Never happened.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
Flicking the bean.
Flicking the bean to the manster.
Yeah,
Am I actually blushing or what?
yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta set my shower head to manster. I'm gonna set my shower head to manster and then obliterate my clit with it.
Oh my God.
No. What I was saying. What I was saying was that we have
Got some women sitting on some spin cycles thinking of Lloyd.
all right.
Honey, why are you doing laundry again? No reason.
We have a date for Connecticut Horror Fest 2020.
All right.
It's going to be at the same place. They re-upped for the Naugatuck Event Center, and it is September 12th of 2020.
So for all you ladies,
All right.
September 12th, 2020.
September
if you want
12th,
to come see
2020.
Lloyd.
Come see the Manster. Come see the Pint of Comics. And
Put him in a mesh
the man
muscle
thing.
shirt.
I'll be a little grayer next year.
I'll be a little grayer. But you know what? We'll be a little wiser, and we'll be closer to episode 200.
That's right.
This has been episode 101 of Pint of Comics.
See ya.
Yay!
It's over, Johnny. It's over! Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off!